Jack. All right. You got this stuff?
Yeah. All cleaned and oiled.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's get it on.
Who are these guys?
It's my theme music. Every good hero should have some.
Hot damn, it's time to get down to the jam. It's time to get down, it's time to get down, it's time to get down to the jam. I said it's time to get down to the knowledge, gonna get on down with the know. On the morning coffee show, on morning coffee with Keith, here on Pop Culture Minefield.
Excuse me, can I get a cup of coffee? Black? Can't you see we talking? White?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to first show of 2026. For those of you that don't know, I'm the Keith of Morning Coffee with Keith, and I am the lucky guy that gets to sit here and do this show with the amazing Martin and the ever coolness and just great aura of what Ben brings to the show.
This is
I
why
miss
I'm
doing
the
this with
one
you.
true Ben.
Yes, you are the one true Ben. I've missed doing this with you guys.
Yeah, it's been a long couple weeks. I've been waking up on Thursdays going, no, not today. Damn it. Oh, Christmas. All right. Let's go have Christmas.
Christmas is kind of important, and this is my grandson's first, well, not his first Christmas, but this is the one that he'll definitely remember.
This is the first one he was actually sentient for.
Yeah, well, he was only a couple weeks old when last year, and now he's one, and it was just fantastic to be able to sit around and watch him rip open all the presents and
right
do this thing. You know, I tell everybody, it's like once you get to this point, it's not about what you receive; it's about watching them do their thing.
Yeah,
and it's better than any TV show, sporting event, whatever you can think of. It is just hours of entertainment, you know, at least in my head. So
right. We'll see. And my granddaughters are respectively, like, one is just turning 30 this year, the other is about to graduate high school.
Wow.
It's at the point where we're going, okay, here's money. Spend it wisely.
Yeah, I've got a few more years before I can get away with that with any of my grandkids.
Oh,
well,
God.
I think two of them I could probably do that, but they're both 9. You know.
Yeah, no, but see, at 9 also, though, there is still that level of I want this cool thing, you know, and you can get it from like the current equivalent of Toys R Us. you know, you don't have to worry about, because the 2 eldest grandkids were like, here's stuff for your house, and here's money, you know.
Yes.
The granddaughter were like,
look.
you know, eldest, you know, the youngest, it's like, here's stuff for audio. Here's an audio book, you know. Here's a Barnes and Noble gift card. At least I'm good there. So, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, this has been a good year so far. Last year had way too many peaks and valleys, and some of the down stuff was really, really down for me. But now that we're here, since I wasn't able to do this for New Year's, then first of all, welcome to 2026, everyone.
Happy New Year!
So I guess I am the final person to do that because everybody has already done that.
Right.
But here's the big thing. For me, I always like celebrating International Science Fiction Day, which is on January 2nd.
Oh,
And
I
that
didn't know
also, yes, it's January 2nd. Every year is International Science Fiction Day, not Sci-Fi Day. International Science Fiction Day. And it's held on the birthday of Isaac Asimov, who is one of the few science fiction authors who, get this, really was a scientist. So a lot of his stuff still holds up, mainly because, he was using what he knew. Hey, Gambit. Let me say hello to everybody. Gambit, Andy Morrow, and wow. Hey, everybody. Can't believe everybody's just like waiting for me to begin. Anyway, so I was out of habit because this happened to me. I started putting together notes for the show when I realized, no, we weren't having a show.
Yeah, I was about to like message Martin and say, let's just start Media Res because Keith's on fire, man. Let's just go.
So, but I got all this information, and the biggest piece that so far, I haven't seen any of the shows that I follow talk about this, but not only it being, International Science Fiction Day, but it was the fact that this year, 2026, is the year when the events of the movie Metropolis take place.
Wow.
Yeah, we finally reached that magic year that the Fritz Lang's Metropolis takes place in.
Well,
Metropolis is a dystopia. Okay, maybe we're not too far off.
okay. It's a dystopia, blah blah blah. Let's bring up another fictitious events that may happen. Let's talk Star Trek. I think it is the beginning of the World War III this year, according to Star Trek lore.
Which I might still happen. Who knows?
Actually, according to Star Trek lore, that was 1996. We've gone past.
Isn't this the eugenics wars?
Eugenics wars was that's 1996. That was 1996. Okay. Because it's the rise of Khan Noonien Singh, along with all of the other genetic overlords, and of which Khan was one of. He wasn't the only one. He was one of them. And if you are one of those unfortunate people that actually decided to actually watch some K-Trek, then you know that those years have been moved, unfortunately.
Because we've got World War III starts over genetic engineering, but also the Second Civil War, and the Planetary Baseball League.
Yes. Next month, February, will be the 100th anniversary of Amazing Stories magazine. And so I decided that for the rest of this year, we're just going to do pretty much all science fiction. And then I'll try to break things down and do things based on both science fiction as well as what I deem sci-fi, which is the more loose entertainment, bargain basement version of science fiction, which is what the entertainment industry in Hollywood gives us. It is very rare that you're ever really going to see true science fiction coming from any Hollywood film, television series. That's the reason why Babylon 5 hit so hard. It's the reason why The Expanse is so good. It's the reason why Twilight Zone is so well done. And it's the reason why Star Trek was such a groundbreaking television series that it is now used as a catch-all term for everything that has been made under the Star Trek banner, which is wrong. Because it's an insult to the people that actually work their butts off to make everything good. To me, there's only one Star Trek, and legally, there's only one Star Trek. People think I'm kidding when I say that, but legally, there is only one Star Trek, and that's the 1966 to 69 series. Okay, according to the Writers Guild, you can't name another TV series the same name and try to get away with it if it's within the same universe and characters and all of that. That's the reason why there is a Next Generation, why there's a Deep Space Nine, why there's a Voyager, Enterprise, so on and so on and so forth. You have to differentiate between which ones you're talking about. Right. And unfortunately, before CBS took over, before Kurtzman came along, fans could talk about Star Trek and you knew exactly what they were talking about. Every fan had their version of Star Trek, and it didn't mean that we didn't like all the other versions, but you had your preferred version of it. You know, you had your Star Trek fans, you had your Next Gen fans, you had your DS9 fans, you had your Voyager fans, and your Enterprise fans. Okay? Now, the reason why it has gotten so confused is because its main purpose to do that is to pretty much obfuscate the unfortunate reaction to everything that Alex Kurtzman has done. It was meant to really try to mix everything together so that you didn't know what you were talking about. It's a process that was used by Disney to also help with a lot of their not so good Star Wars stuff that they're offering people. Mix it all in there. That way they don't know the difference. You know? After yesterday, I think they had the big quote unquote red carpet premiere for Starfleet Academy. And again, if that's for all those people that enjoy that, and you know that if K-Trek is your big thing, I wish you nothing but the best. I really do. I hope it's everything that you want it to be. I hope that you really do enjoy everything that has been offered for as long as it will be around, which won't be that long. And I'm not trying to be funny about it. I mean, this is the new owners at Paramount have pretty much let it be known. Well, they have let it be known that what's going on right now is not the future of what Star Trek is. So Starfleet Academy will be given this season, and then I think they still have to film their second and final season. And that'll be it.
Only have for 2 seasons for
that's the big secret.
Right.
A lot of this stuff that he's been doing, that Kurtzman's been doing, a lot of it in advance was set for a certain number of seasons. Okay, it's not that they got hip one day and figured, oh, this is no longer viable. No. Certain shows were, you know, Discovery. Yeah, Discovery was initially done with a 3-season commitment.
Yeah.
Which was unfortunate because I think it was Netflix that got tricked into financing it, and they couldn't break out of it. They based on everything I've learned,
Mhm.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm not a big Kurtzman fan, but whoever his agent was
What?
who put together that contract,
No. Hmm.
I want that person representing me. I now have a full idea of what his contract was. Oh my God.
And
Not
and
a
that
fan
and
of course, man. My world is shaking.
so
Well,
I'm getting the sense that that Kurtzman's agent, you described him a lot like
A magician
oh
of
no
contracts.
no like Kelsey Grammer, like Fraser did his agent. She has no heart, no soul, no reflection.
you know what? I can joke like that, but on all honesty,
Hmm.
whoever Kurtzman's agent is,
Hmm.
if you are a young up and coming athlete, this is your agent.
This is your guy. Yeah.
If
Which
you are joining a company that, if you're joining a law firm, this is your agent.
right.
If you are
If
getting
any of
into
my
politics, this
yeah,
is your agent.
if any of my books go to movies, this is my guy.
Yeah. If you get caught on film killing 20 people in a room, this is your lawyer and agent.
So just
That's
just
that contract was a
mhm,
masterpiece. No wonder Paramount couldn't do anything about it. That
right.
thing had so many caveats, and geez, even to this thing is so well written.
Hmm.
Paramount could go ahead and tell Kurtzman to leave right now, and it's going to cost Paramount millions to break out of the contract. I was floored. There are all these little hidden traps in this contract that basically will out that no matter what, Alex Kurtzman, the moment this contract was signed, Alex Kurtzman was guaranteed to be one of the highest paid people in entertainment. Period. No wonder he wants to keep this going. His company has got nothing else going on really, and yeah, no wonder. I mean, it's next to impossible to fire him, and I really do mean next to impossible. This contract was written in such a way you could have him on film hanging out with a bunch of terrorists getting ready to blow up Washington, D.C., and basically you still wouldn't have enough to be able to properly fire him. He would still get paid, even as they slap the handcuffs on him to take him away to jail. That was a contract, at least for him. It also shows that either Les Moonves is one of the most incompetent people to have ever negotiated a contract for CBS, or he really hated Star Trek that much. There's no other way that you can interpret that. But I really do hope that all of you out there who just happen to be fans of anything that Kurtzman's done, just have a good time with it. But understand, you really do need to understand this. Kurtzman did lie to you, okay? If you're still a Kurtzman fan, you need to understand that the reason why you do not have Star Trek Legacy is because Kurtzman didn't want it. That contract pretty much made it possible for him to basically just go ahead and greenlight anything he wanted. So for him to come out in the press and say, well, that's above my pay grade and I can't decide that was a lie. Bold-faced lie. He could have made Legacy, and instead he decided to do this, Starfleet Academy. He chose Starfleet Academy over Legacy. So if you're one of those people coming out of Picard season 3 that wanted to see Star Trek Legacy, the existence of this show, Starfleet Academy, this is the reason why you're not getting Legacy. He chose to do that rather than give you Star Trek Legacy.
Okay. That is a blessing in disguise. Do you really want that guy to do Legacy? Him?
No. I'm not saying I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that this is, again, it really doesn't matter ultimately. He was going to make what he wanted to make, and he was still going to get paid. You know, this is the equivalent of being able to go to your job, you being an employee, and just basically getting paid to do whatever the blank you want. And short of basically being someone on the same level as, say, Hitler or
Ouch.
I'm serious, short of being someone that awful, short of even being the devil himself, you're not going to get fired. You'd still show up to work, right? You're going to get paid, right? And you're getting paid a lot of money. And then on top of that, you have the guarantee that they really can't fire you without paying you millions. How do you think your response to work's going to be? How do you think your response to those, quote unquote, over you are going to be when they ask you to do something? So, yeah, again, I'm not saying I'm not sitting here admiring Kurtzman. I'm admiring his agent. I need an agent. Because if I could get a job like that, it wouldn't matter what job I got.
Right.
It really wouldn't.
So, we do know, of course, that, in the Star Trek times, speaking of Star Trek timelines, it's only 6 years until Zefram Cochrane is born. So, hope abounds still,
Well, it matters within the timeline that has currently been attributed to Kurtzman and his people. That
was established but that was established before Kurtzman. That was established in
Kurtzman and his people have the ability to be able to change whatever they want, and they did. They've already changed a lot of it.
Yeah,
they changed a lot of it.
But whoever catches it later can go back and change it on their own.
Actually, it looks like the new owners at Paramount don't want to deal with that. Rather than fix it, this is what's okay. For those of you who haven't heard, the new owners at Paramount have decided that instead of trying to fix everything, they're basically going to leave it as a jumbled mess. Like with the lights on your Christmas tree every year, they're just going to leave it as a mess. They're just going to start all over again. So they are going to start out with a movie. And this movie is going to reset everything. And they're just going to start all over again with Star Trek. And
another JJ thing?
No. I mean, they are resetting everything. This is it. Star Trek as we have known it from 1966 up until 2025 is now officially done. It's done. It's gone. They are not using.
Gone is not part of the canon anymore.
Whatever you thought canon was no longer applies. Once this movie comes out, it's resetting everything.
Oh, good luck with that. Yeah, the fans are gonna love it.
I know, but they've decided that it is just easier to go ahead, just redo everything and start from square one, rather than try to parcel through and try to figure out what's what. Now,
And
I agree with you, Martin. That's weird.
no, that's
Unless,
not weird. That plain idiotic. Oh my god! I thought I was having a
well,
bad day before this new.
well, unless there's more connected with the contracts and everything else. There's some other additional things in there that they just don't want to deal with. And if the only way to get out of it is to basically just scrap everything.
Yeah.
Although I'm of the opinion that there is a way that you can go through and debug this, but they don't want to do it. So yeah, James Caserta with hired guns. You don't know science fiction. Well, don't know science fiction. There's a world of difference between science fiction and sci-fi, and sci-fi is really the type of storytelling and science fiction stories that Hollywood has been telling for years. And it's not always stuff that's based on, it's not coming from the same source as what literary or OG science fiction comes from. Okay? Science fiction really is literary based. The stories and situations set up in a lot of the novels and classic stories that have been told for decades, especially in the 1920s, 1930s. A lot of that stuff doesn't really translate to a lot of what the entertainment industry and Hollywood have been doing. Again, as I said at the beginning, there's a reason why Star Trek, Babylon 5, The Expanse, I'd even say Blake 7. There's a reason why there's, and the Ronald D. Moore, David Icke's version of Battlestar Galactica. There's a reason why all that stuff stands heads and shoulders above a majority of other stuff out there. It's easier to create stuff that is very loose and does whatever the writer wants it to do rather than something that adheres to and is very reminiscent of what science fiction actually is. And
so are you talking hard science fiction or
all of it? Hard science, you know what? Babylon 5 is kind of a mixture between science fiction and hard science fiction. Okay. And a little bit of fantasy, little bit of science fantasy, just a tiny smidge. Ronald D. Moore and David Icke's version of Battlestar Galactica is hard science fiction. And it also has some elements of a little fantasy in there, just tiny bits, but it's really hard science fiction. There are certain book series that if Hollywood really wanted to, if they were to adapt, would be everything at the current day people running Hollywood have ever said that they ever wanted to do, and kick more butt and be way more effective than a majority of not just science fiction films, but a majority of films would ever be able to provide. Okay. Honor Harrington, in my opinion, is one of the great untapped just untapped resources out there. If you're someone that has been walking around going, they don't like women in science fiction, they don't want to have anything. If you are a producer and you haven't tried to buy the rights to Honor Harrington, then you need to shut up and sit down.
If you have been to a sci-fi convention in the past 30 years, especially in the past couple of decades at least, you have seen someone cosplaying in the Honor Harrington universe.
Yes. That is, look, to me, when they announced that Star Trek Voyager, the lead character was going to be a female captain, I knew that this was Star Trek's attempt to try to do a little bit of Honor Harrington. And comparatively speaking, Star Trek Voyager is a good show, but Honor Harrington has that like beat 6 ways from Sunday. Captain Janeway is not even close to being anything like Honor Harrington.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole of all the stories written with that character, I'd have to say it's hardcore stuff. I mean, if you took The Expanse and Ronald D. Moore's Battlestar Galactica and mixed it together with a female lead, that's closer to what Honor Harrington is. That's closer.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it has such a strong fandom that is loyal. I mean, these folks, are easily as dedicated as the 501st because they don't have visual media to play on. They are building this solely on descriptions in books, and to my eye, they have been remarkably consistent with their. I swear you could bring in a drill sergeant, and brief him on what this uniform should look like, and that drill sergeant is going to have a hard time gigging someone on their uniform. That is and that is that's the level of dedication and unity and if someone could tap the Harrington Honorverse fandom, oh my god.
Let me tell you something.
Uh-huh.
When Michelle Forbes was on Battlestar Galactica, that's about as close as I think we've ever come to having Honor Harrington live and breathe. Michelle Forbes, in my opinion, is one of the few actresses that I could actually picture in my head as Honor Harrington.
Who did she play?
She was Kane.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Did you?
I did not.
Battlestar Galactica?
I did not watch the new Battlestar Galactica. I came at it. Remember, I survived the 70, the original Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, the 78 version.
78 version. And I was looking at it going, I'm going to expect too much of this to be like, what I saw then. And also what I did see of it felt very much soap opera-y. And I'm like going,
Okay. Whoa. Let's stop the show for a moment. Let's stop the show. Okay. Ben. Let's focus on Ben now. Ben, I want you to listen to me, my man. I've never steered you wrong, man. I mean, I think the world of you. I will tell you this, man. Seriously. I, like you, I enjoyed the 78 Battlestar Galactica. I love the heck out of it. Okay. You know how when JJ did Star Trek and how it had its little out in that, same kind of out is in this. Okay, you're not going to confuse the two, and there's a reason for that.
Oh no, You know,
And the way they explain it,
mhm,
especially once you get to the actual series, uh,
mhm,
do the miniseries first, and then just do the first 2 episodes right after. Trust me,
mhm.
there'll be no doubt. There's
Well,
no doubt.
yeah, and bear in mind, here's the thing: there are some things I liked about there's some things that I liked about the new series. I loved it. I just adored what they did with Starbuck. you know,
Uh,
and I liked the president. She was a great addition to that. And even Adama, but there was just like the dynamics between Adama and Apollo, you know, were too vastly different. What they did with
yeah,
Ty,
but that's what I'm saying. No. That's what I'm saying.
Mhm,
The J.J. Abrams Star Trek is still way
mhm,
too different from the original Star Trek.
mhm,
And you have the little thing in there where it kind of explains what the reason why that is
mhm.
this, right?
Right? Yeah.
It's the same thing with Battlestar Galactica. Yes,
Mhm,
there is a difference. There is a
mhm,
big difference, and they explain it
mhm.
within this. In fact,
Right. Oh, and
technically,
it's mhm,
that is really a part of a lot of what the first season is,
mhm,
and it's meant to be different on purpose. This is meant to be
yeah.
more of a the first battle, the original Battlestar Galactica was meant to be more of a kind of a science fiction meets spiritual journey meets
Mhm,
all of this other stuff.
yeah.
This version is meant to be closer to hard sci-fi, military science fiction,
Mhm.
and
And and it's not and it's not where it is different that I have my taste runs different.
mhm.
It is the the plots and the stories are too, like I said, too soap opera, too much,
I get it. I get it. I get it.
you know, and that is not to my taste. That's why I
Yeah,
didn't get involved in Lost. I started watching
yeah,
Lost, and I'm like going, okay, I'm having a problem with just maintaining interest in the episode.
yeah.
So I may try it later on, but at present, I'm
Trust me.
looking at it and going, this is not what I'm interested in.
Having Starbuck be a
Um,
woman at
mhm,
first was really kind of cool, but you know what
mhm,
made it even better
mhm.
was having Boomer be an Asian woman.
Yeah. Well, see,
You
and
know?
what they did with the characters, I loved what they did with the characters. Not just Starbuck being a woman, but Starbuck being I think they amplified what everything that was cool about Starbuck in the original one.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's
yeah.
just
I,
so
I
yeah,
I just love both versions, and in
right.
my mind, they're so distinct. And again,
Mhm,
the great thing about the Ronald D. Moore version is that
mhm,
it explained why it is what it is. And it's like,
mhm,
oh, well, that okay, well, because there were a lot of people who actually, like you, had a problem when it
mhm,
first premiered. And
mhm,
if you made it through the miniseries and the first 2 episodes,
mhm,
that got explained. And then, as Edward James Olmos himself said, you got 2
mhm.
choices. Give us a chance. You got 2 choices though.
Right.
And I went along for the ride and I enjoyed it. And I look at it this way: when you're able to have the lead from the '78 series become part of
Mhm,
your cast for your new series, and he really gets into it.
mhm,
Yeah, I mean, Richard Hatch joining the cast of the Ronald D. Moore version just was the cherry on top that I needed. And
mhm,
having hung out with him and got a chance to know him as a person for a bit,
mhm,
I just thought that was huge. Given the last time I had seen him in person, the last time we
mhm,
had a chance to talk, and what he was attempting to do at that time, which was he was attempting to revive Battlestar Galactica. He had his own idea for bringing it back. And I think what he ended up talking about is the fact that there's still room for that. You could still do that. Having Ronald D. Moore and David Icke's version doesn't affect the 78 version at all.
No, and that's not again, that's not my issue with it.
Okay. Yeah, I know. But what I mean is that there's room for many different flavors.
Mhm.
This isn't like that situation with Alex Kurtzman where it's like, okay, this has got to be my way.
Mhm.
You know, this is the one thing here, and it's got to be this, and blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
And I never agreed with that. You know, mainly because, as everybody has rightly said, Kurtzman wasn't interested in Star Trek at all, and a lot of the people that he ended up hiring to work weren't interested in Star Trek at all. They're interested in other things that wasn't Star Trek, and that's part of the problem. But that, along with the fact that his contract basically gave him immunity to be able to do whatever the blank he wanted, and with no consequences. And that's, to me, creatively, you can't walk into any situation like that. You played yourself, is how I look at it with Alex Kurtzman. That's a great contract you have there, but you know that by having a contract like that and you knowing about it, it killed your creativity. It killed you because you can't come up with anything now. There is nothing. You are now mentally made yourself sterile. You've crippled yourself because now there are no stakes. There's nothing at stake for you. So you get to be lazy in the things that you create. And you expect other people to find their way to it and to somehow be entertained. Now, they don't have to be, because you still get paid no matter what. You're guaranteed payment no matter what. So there's no urgency in anything that you write and anything that you create, which means every time, you speak about it, you're not speaking because you truly care. You're speaking about it because that's what you're supposed to do in support of a project that you and your company put out. But in the end, your butt is covered. You're financially taken care of. You've got your golden ticket. And so if anything were to happen, you're at least guaranteed the fact that nothing's going to happen to you. And that's what really kills me about Kurtzman Trek. Everybody that worked on it didn't have that kind of golden ticket. He did. Nobody else did. And that kills every single thing that came out from him and his people. It's the reason why I can't enjoy Starfleet Academy, Discovery. I can't enjoy Strange New Worlds. I can't enjoy any of it. People keep talking, oh, what about Prodigy? Screw Prodigy. Can't enjoy it. Well, they have a really funny cartoon. Nope, don't want to see it. Can't enjoy it. It's a creative dead end.
Yeah. Made
by someone who's risking nothing. And again, I'm not saying that Prodigy, Gambit, it would be easy for me to sit here and say, oh, I don't want to watch it because it sucks. No, it's a creative dead end. It doesn't do anything at all. And I feel bad for everyone that worked on that show because I know they worked hard. I know that everyone that worked on all of those different shows, there were certain people that were just hoping that they could find their audience, but it's hard to find an audience when the person that is meant to be leading you creatively not even creatively, when you're dealing with someone who is risking nothing And all great art is about dipping into who you are a little bit and being able to communicate that and touch someone else. If you don't have to do that, if you don't risk anything, then there's nothing there. It's soulless. And that's really what I think about all of Kurtzman Trek, is soulless.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a lot of really talented people giving their all for something that is ultimately soulless. And it comes across in everything. You know, including, and I hate to say this, including Picard Season 3. Picard Season 3 is not perfect. It's not perfect at all. But compared to what we were getting from Kurtzman, you know, it's like the old Eddie Murphy joke about the cracker. You got a man who's been starving. You give him just a regular saltine cracker. That's the best cracker in the world. You know, it's like that. That's what Picard Season 3 really was. It was something put out there because everything else was just so bad. And again, I feel for everyone. I feel for all the actors and actresses. I feel for all of the set people, the costume people, all the people responsible for pre and post production work. I feel bad for all of you. Okay. But a lot of you did get paid. I can't feel that bad for you. You did cash the check. And but the person you were following, they just weren't in it. And I at least felt that with Ronald D. Moore and David Icke, especially Ronald D. Moore, he was in it. He put some of his soul in there. That's part of the reason why it's so well done. I can see why, though, you wouldn't want to wait. But I'm telling you right now, I don't think it's really as soap opera-y as you think that it is. There are parts of it that are. I'm not going to lie. But I like military science fiction. I'm really tuned into that. And what I loved about that Battlestar Galactica is that it played really into that. And it tried to balance everything in a way that was very reminiscent of what you had with Babylon 5. But I don't think they were always successful. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's not perfection. It's hard to even get perfection. You know, I still think The Expanse is probably hands down the best science fiction series that we've gotten over the last 25 years. And I'm still hoping. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I like that you make that a quotation, the 25 years, because Babylon 5 is the best sci-fi show.
Oh yeah,
ever.
Yes. Babylon 5 is a science fiction show made by people who, get this, almost all of whom were themselves Star Trek fans. Starting with J. Michael Straczynski himself. You know, he is a Star Trek fan. He's not really a fan of the Next Generation too much. He's definitely not a DS9 fan. He's not much of a Voyager fan.
How could you not be a fan of DS9?
Oh, Martin. Oh, you don't know, do you? Oh, yeah, my friend.
I know, but one thing is the circumstances of the creations of the show.
Yes.
You have to admit that DS9 is awesome.
DS9 is awesome. No, don't get me wrong. I'm not. No. Don't get me wrong. Okay, look. My favorite is Star Trek. My second favorite Star Trek show is Star Trek DS9. And that's no insult to the Next Generation. but that's just the way I'm wired. I love the crew of the Enterprise, Captain Kirk, Mr. Spock, Dr. McCoy. Love all those characters. Those are my guys. But DS9 just rocked. DS9 was all that and then some, for me. And then comes the Next Generation crew. I love the Next Generation crew. They're great. Voyager crew, the NX-01 Enterprise. I mean, all that. This is all great stuff. Love all that stuff. But if I had to rank everything, yeah, my ultimate favorite is the crew of the Enterprise, then the DS9 crew, and then the Next Generation crew.
Mm-hmm.
But no, JMS had insight into the inner workings of Trek production. He was under no obligation to keep a lot of secrets, but he did. He was in touch with a lot of the writers and other people that worked on those shows. Okay. When there is passion, knowledge, and respect, you get something special. When there is a lack of passion, a genuine lack of knowledge, and no respect, you get Kurtzman Trek in all of its forms. And yeah, it's just, I understand what the new owners at Paramount are doing. I don't agree with it. I think it's possible to correct a lot of the mistakes and to undo this weird sort of meshed, stomped on timeline that they're left with. I think it's possible to undo it and get it back to glory. But it's their money. They're doing what they have to do or what they feel they have to do. Personally, I wouldn't do what they're doing, but they're doing it, and it's their money. And
Well,
I look at it this way: as long as they get rid of Kurtzman, I'm willing to give them the benefit because they weren't the ones that originally set up this entire deal. They weren't the ones that hired Kurtzman. They're just trying to get rid of him.
I have an idea how to fix all this.
Okay.
Yeah, you put you start the new show with Enterprise F Ready Room. There you see the most beloved and very competent Captain Leon Shaw talking to Q, saying, "Oh my God! Thank God, all that was a making of yours. Let's go back to normality." and you just take it from there.
Oh man. Oh wow. Well, I don't know if I would have Liam Shaw on the Enterprise F.
Kidding me? Everybody loves Shaw.
No. I mean, I wouldn't put him on the Enterprise F. I'd put him on another ship. But yeah, yeah. Liam Shaw's a great character. Unfortunately, it's definitely a character that they can't use. They can't use that name, and they can't use that backstory.
Okay, Ian Sean, and he has to say, and thank you for changing my name in those Dark.
There's,
Man, that is
there's
not
another.
you.
No, you just add an E to the end of it. Now there's another Captain Shaw. You just Stargate the fuck out of it. There's another Shaw. Spells his name without the E. He hates it when they get that.
Well, if I mean, if Stargate can do it,
exactly. It's like
I just think that it really does suck that you, because of the circumstances of everything, that you really can't use a lot of that stuff. Look, a lot of what Terry Metalis did was cool, but you can't use it. Not without making some sort of a deal with Kurtzman. And I guess I'm a mean SOB when it comes to this. I don't want to give him nothing else. It's bad enough I got to let him keep his job after he's been doing such a horrible job. And I can't just walk right out and fire him without making him beyond wealthy.
and at that point it becomes the principle of the matter.
I'm with James Caserta here. That was criminal. We never got a DS9 movie.
I know, but it's mainly because, there are certain other things attached to that. But I mean, I think you could have gotten one if they were willing to pay out. But on top of that, we wasted all of that time because, Kurtzman and his people were just bleeding everybody dry. And there's a lot of stuff that's been wasted. Kurtzman's period of time has done significant damage to a lot of the really cool projects that could have been played out.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. So, but now his time is done. Unfortunately, it's going to take a lot of the actors and stuff, which again, you're dealing with people who are now in their late 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Yeah.
I completely understand what the new owners at Paramount, why they're doing this. Because once you get to a certain age, you have to insure everybody. I guarantee you the insurance on Picard season 3 was part of the reason why they didn't get the entire crew together at the very beginning. Because that's a lot of money in insurance. It's bad enough your lead actor is a man of a certain age. And the more people of a certain age you have on camera, the higher the insurance goes.
The higher your risk, yeah. Speaking of people of a certain age, it has nothing to do with Trek, but it's something that had been in my head. I am looking forward to Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz coming back for the new Mummy.
Yes, along with a lot of their other co-stars.
Including Oded Fair? I hadn't heard anything about him.
Oded Fair is somebody whose name I have not heard. I would love Oded Fair to come back.
Yeah.
But I heard Arnold Vosloo is coming back.
Huh. Are they getting Jonathan back?
Yes. No. They had a convention in Denver, and the three of them took the stage together.
Awesome. Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, Evie, her brother, and husband, all the three of them took the stage together, and the crowd went wild and blah, blah, blah. But the big news, well, the rumor that I heard is that Arnold Vosloo will be making a cameo appearance in the new movie.
Imhotep's got to show up.
Basically.
Yeah. But
now, Fair.
Will we have a CGI Scorpion King again?
Oh God, I hope not. Please do not do that to us. Oh God.
I don't know. Oh man. I will say this though. Oded Fair, in my opinion, definitely deserves to be a part of this new movie because his character is probably my favorite character of the entire of the entire thing. I love his character.
Not the CGI Scorpion King.
Yeah, I know.
Nerd Reactor. Keith, check out Nerd Reactor. Evidently, Oded Fair is talking about that he's coming back.
Yes.
Nice.
Okay, I'm good. Look, I was already going to go see the movie. Now I'm guaranteed to buy the ticket because I'm a big Udon Fair fan. I think the guy is awesome. And to me,
oh yeah,
while they had him as a part of Kurtzman's track, to me, you know what? No, I'm not gonna go down there. I'm just gonna say Udon Fair. I'm so happy. He's a great actor. He should be involved in a bunch of stuff. If I had the power to put him in more things, I would. Because I think he's just that good.
Well, evidently he posted on Instagram a picture of him with the sword and the face tattoos.
Oh!
Somebody's hyped.
Yes, somebody's a happy camper.
Oh, wow.
I just made Keith's morning.
Yes, you did. Dude.
Hang on a second. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh, man. That is awesome.
Hang on.
That is really cool.
Yeah, there's hang on. I'm gonna screenshot it and send it to you.
Well, let me also say this while we're doing this. Speaking of bringing things back or dealing things the right way, it's looking like there's now an official title to the Buffy the Vampire Slayer series.
Oh, cool.
It's called let's see, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, New Sunnydale.
New Sunnydale. Nice.
Because it's meant to be a continuation.
Yeah, absolutely. And they destroyed Sunnydale at the end of the last one. So Keith, I sent it to you. Martin, I sent it to the group chat. On Facebook.
Group chat, quick.
And the Keith chat. Yours is always near the top of my feed because you've always got such interesting shit showing up. So,
oh, that is a cool picture.
Yeah, is it not?
I am hyped, even more so than with any of the Marvel stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
Is there many Marvel stuff?
Well, I keep threatening to make my own false commercial and put at the end of it. It's like, with this news, Rick and Evie O'Connell will return in Avengers Doomsday. Henry Cavill
will return
as Superman, and Bill and Henry Cavill as Superman and Ben Affleck as Batman will return in Avengers Doomsday. It seems like everybody's returning. Buffy the Vampire Slayer will return.
Except for the audience.
I think the audience might show up, just not as fully as they are hoping. Look, there's so much money that they're spending on this. I mean, it's the rumor that I heard is now, in order to break even, they have to hit 2.5. They got to hit 2.5.
Oh, dude, it has happened before. You think this may be the movie that kills Marvel Studio?
No. It's not going to kill Marvel Studios, but it's going to be hurt. There's a lot of money that's been spent. Look, a lot of what we're seeing right now is stuff that we saw during the making and filming of Captain America.
I love this one. Let read.
What?
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Hey, what can I say? Adam West will return as Batman in Avengers Doomsday.
Adam West will return as Bruce Wayne. Actually, if Adam West returns as anything in Avengers Doomsday, it's going to be Marvel freaking zombies.
Pretty much. Returns as Mayor West. Yeah.
Adam West
Mayor
returns.
Quimby.
Everyone runs.
Adam West returns as Mayor Quimby in Avengers Doomsday. But I just there's a lot of cool projects that could move forward.
Mm-hmm.
We are right now in a very interesting area and time period. If the right people get the right projects and it gets done at the right time, it comes out at the right time, Hollywood could see a nice boost. But I'm not certain that that's going to happen in time. I believe that for myself, I'm speaking for myself, I am a firm believer that the Netflix deal sucks and that it is way, way, way too bad of just the damage that would be done by Netflix getting their hands on Warner Brothers is much too great. I just think that Netflix doesn't really need Warner Brothers at all. What they need is to turn themselves into an up-to-date equivalent of what Hulu is or was when it comes to theatrical ideas and stuff like that. That's what they really need. They need to be making deals with everybody. They don't want to do that. What they want is they want to try to do stuff on their own terms. And they think having all of Warner Brothers IP will magically save themselves from the fate that is awaiting them, which is this. Netflix has pretty much done what they set out to do. Everybody on planet Earth has Netflix. Okay? There's no other people to sell it to. Netflix is everywhere you want to go on this planet. And the obvious thing is that it hasn't really improved the quality of what you're making. So you think going out and getting all of Warner Brothers IP is magically going to make you better at making exclusive content for yourself? Really? I mean, what you should be doing is using some of this money and going out and getting talented people that actually know what the blank they're doing. Now comes word that they've already managed, there's one person who will not be doing any real business with Netflix if the deal goes through. And it's someone who's threatened this kind of thing before, and he means it when he says it. And that's Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan has decided that he's done with Netflix if that deal goes through. Now notice, Nolan was exclusive to Warner Brothers for a long time. He thought he got done dirty and left. I think he got a contract with Universal. Even after all of that, he's a principled enough guy to know that the Netflix deal for Warner Brothers is bad for everybody. And so he's stepping up to let it be known, hey, I'm not down with this. And if that goes through, I'm not doing anything with Netflix. And that's just the way it is. I agree with Christopher Nolan. I just think Netflix owning Warner Brothers IP, first and foremost, it's not going to stop them from, and again, this is just me saying this. The opinion that I have on this is not the opinion of anyone affiliated with Pop Culture Minefield or anything else. It's just me. I think Netflix has another 10 years left because you've already reached everyone. It's not doing anything as far as making you better at making exclusive content for yourself. I mean, there are good movies on Netflix, but a lot of that is coming from films that were meant for theatrical release and or made by studios for other sources that
Hello?
Netflix happens to have. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lost connection
Oh, okay.
twice as happened this morning.
I just think that I just really believe that between the two that have stepped up to want to do this, Paramount is just the better of the two. Now, is Paramount the best? Is Paramount perfect? Heck no. Heck no. But I trust Paramount more than I do Netflix. I at least have to give the head of Netflix, though, a little credit. He's not trying to be. He's not trying to lie, but he's letting it be known. And they haven't really said anything, that could quantify them as having lied to anyone. They did state that they would allow Warner Brothers to fulfill all of its contractual obligations. But what that means is, for the next 2 years, Warner Brothers is going to have everything that's been greenlit already, everything that they're currently working on, anything that fits within a particular time period will be allowed to go to theaters. Okay? After that, though, when Netflix officially takes over, when they officially gain control over everything, once the contractual obligations are done for those particular projects, all future projects will then be held to the 17-day standard and then immediately go straight on to Netflix.
17 days. Ooh.
Look, he's already stated he doesn't care about theaters. Netflix does not care about movie theaters at all. At all. So if you care about going to the movies and having fun, eating popcorn, yeah, Netflix is not who you should be supporting. Paramount really, in my opinion, is the better of the two. I also think that because Larry Ellison's decided to kick in even more money, I really do believe, as has been put out there by Valiant Renegade, I really do believe that as of right now, the $30 a share is still not as high as they can go. I believe that they can go higher. And I think Valiant Renegade was the one that actually did the calculations and came up with 34. It's $34 a share. If Paramount and the Ellisons get to $34 a share, I think you're going to see something different happen. I think the story will change. I think magically Netflix will not be the guarantee owner, and that Paramount will step in. And I think shareholders will definitely go for that. 34 a share? Oh, heck yes. Heck yes. I think it would be a much better fit to have all of Warner Brothers, to have all of that with Paramount. Because what that would look, here's something that you really need to know about David Ellison. Okay. Because a lot of other people have had a chance to talk about him. Let me at least put something out there about the guy. He's one of us. I'm not saying in terms of how he grew up. Look, this kid got lucky. He hit the big time. He hit the jackpot. His dad is wealthier than most. Okay, he is definitely what they like to term a nepo baby. But let me also put something out there, okay, which is this: he knows what he's doing. He loves film too, and he's one of us. He's a big old film nerd, and he's just a big old geek. It's really what he is. But he's really a film nerd. And I think he really, really wants to create stuff that people could really enjoy again. And after years of what they've been doing at Warner Brothers, after years of just screwing around over at Paramount, I think he really wants to bring back a lot of really classic IPs that people could really just get into and have fun with again. Now, current plans for Star Trek notwithstanding, which I really do think he really does want to bring back Star Trek. But again, if it's going to be a lot of spending money to try to fix this, I think to a certain extent, money will get you somewhat there, but you're going to just need to actually produce stuff that people want to see. Kurtzman, though, he's never going to get you to where you want to be with really a lot of stuff, but especially Star Trek. He's never going to get you there. He's had no incentive to be good. None. Netflix getting their hands on Warner Brothers, for all of you who are DC fans, is the worst thing in the world. Period.
Could be worse.
No. It is worse.
No. Oh, well, I can make it worse. I don't care what you say. I can make it worse.
You can make it. Okay, how would you make it worse?
Well, now that KK is out of Star Wars, you're getting my vibe here.
Yeah, but guess what? The reason why I'm not reacting to that is because it looks like it already will be worse.
No. I'm saying they can give DC to KK.
No. What I'm trying to get you to is this. Guess who has been seen kind of hinting around that they wouldn't mind working there?
On DC?
No, at Netflix.
Oh, no. Okay, who?
Who do you think?
I don't know.
Who actually, quote unquote, needs a job?
KK?
Not KK.
Kurtzman?
Yep. Rumor has it that he's been skulking around Netflix. And the way Netflix is made up, it's Netflix really, a lot of their creative personnel are people that are more in line with how KK and Kurtzman do things.
Oh, Reed.
Well, Reed, she's definitely leaving, but the after effects are still going to be felt for a long, long time because the woman who is
Man,
taking over is,
we're being left with Filoni.
well, no, it's not just Filoni. Filoni's job is to continue to do what he's already been doing. The other person who has been placed in charge uh, is the one who you need to keep an eye on because technically she's the one that's been running Lucasfilm for quite a while, not KK. And what I learned from Script Doctor is that she comes out of the visual effects arm of Lucasfilm. Which, considering what happened with Marvel Studios, a certain woman who was eventually let go, who did a lot of damage to Marvel, also came out of visual effects. Well, this young lady is someone who, according to her social media, right in line with all that, if not worse.
Oh, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, Alonzo. But I mean, this is not Alonzo herself. She's still out there doing whatever she's doing. But this woman's a lot like Alonzo.
Really, I was thinking of Alonso. To be honest,
And she has been running Lucasfilm for a long
into the
time.
into the ground. You mean?
She's been KK has not seriously been running Lucas for quite a while. Someone else has been running it. This is the lady. See, basically, that announcement was to really just announce something that had already happened a long time ago. They're just making it official. It's another little sleight of hand from Disney, making you think you're getting something new when in fact you're not. This person is someone that's been working with Lucasfilm, pointing them in all these directions, especially over these last 5 to 6 years. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's same old, same old. You just didn't notice. They allowed you to continue to blame KK for everything while having someone else basically do a perfect KK impersonation, and you didn't even notice.
I noticed. Yeah, I did. Okay, give me a name.
And here's the other one. Oh, wait a minute. Gambit. That would be Dave Filoni. A new report from the reliable Puck News says that Filoni is about to be tapped as co-president to run the creative side. Yeah, that's not who I'm talking about. Filoni's doing what Filoni does. Filoni is he's the distraction. He's the one put out there. And he's his stuff is meant to just creatively keep everything going a particular direction. Okay, that's not that difficult because it's Filoni, or as people like to say, phony Filoni. Ultimately, let's see. Hold on. Let me pull up the Puck article. That way, I can at least make sure that I get this right. Let's see. Here we go. Her name is Linwin Brennan. Linwin Brennan. Brennan. And she's been running Lucasfilm for a few years. Okay? Basically, she's been doing the actual job that everybody thought KK was supposed to have been doing. KK's been on extended leave for a few years. She hasn't really been running things. Lynwen Brennan has. And nobody ever really noticed. That's because you weren't meant to notice. Sleight of hand, kids. Sleight of hand. While you were looking at what the left hand was doing, you totally didn't recognize the right hand was doing something else. And then you just sort of, move the muscles of your face and kind of act surprised. So there you go.
Well, all that reminds me. I haven't watched it. Now you see me 3. All that conversation about sleight of hand and misdirection.
Yes. Yep. That's really what a lot of this has become. But to bring this back around to what we've been talking about, I'm glad we're here with Disney, because Disney has not come out with an official word about all this stuff with Netflix. But I will say this. I think Disney wouldn't mind Netflix doing this at all. Why? Because if it goes the other way, Disney might actually have to work. Well, what do you mean, Keith? Well, let me explain. If the Ellisons make it work and somehow get Warner Brothers and combine that with Paramount and all the other holdings that they have, you're talking a company that size-wise will be equal to, if not slightly bigger than Disney. With a collective IP that, if done and used correctly, could do damage to a lot of the profits of Disney when it comes to a lot of film and television stuff. I have been saying for years that one of the biggest problems that Warner Brothers has had, and it's a problem that Disney shares, is that you have all this stuff and you really don't know either A, what you have, or B, how to use it.
Muppet, for example.
Well, I was going to say Buffy. How long has Disney owned the Buffy IP and done anything with it? Because this new Buffy project is not a quote-unquote Disney project. This was being brought to them from outside of Disney. This is not something that Disney's put together themselves.
Which may be why it's good.
It might be good, although it's Chloe Zhao, and she was the one that came in to do the Eternals, and that was
Yeah.
I mean, how do you invest the kind of money that was invested to buy Fox and you don't know what you have? I can at least attest, and Gary can back me up, that when the deal went down, I was one of the few people saying, doesn't that technically make Buffy doesn't that make her a Disney princess?
Right.
Because everybody was joking about, well, doesn't that make the alien queen a princess? Like, screw that. Doesn't that make Buffy Summers?
Does that make Ripley? Princess? Does that make Ripley a Disney princess?
And nothing. Nothing. Disney did nothing. And suddenly, a group of people show up at Disney's front door wanting to know if Disney would allow them to make something with Buffy. You know, I can't think of anything that is more representative of the kinds of things that Disney said that they were wanting to do and support. Of all the issues and causes than Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The very fact that they never even thought of doing anything with it shows you what I have been saying for a long time. A lot of this is just talk. A lot of what Disney and others have been saying is just air passing through their lips. They really don't mean it. If they did, a lot more really well done projects would be stuff that they would have to offer. Buffy would have never languished for as long as it had. If I had been running Disney, Buffy would have been one of the top 5 things I would have immediately turned my attention to and said, we need to start developing that ASAP now that we have the rights to it. But, you know, let's see. Read by Nature says, considering how they've handled Marvel, Star Wars, is Buffy technically more profitable if they do nothing? Do they make money on merch, DVD sales, etc.? Yeah. Well, considering that Disney doesn't do anything with, they don't really put out a lot of physical media anymore. That's the other thing about Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is the last company that actually does its own physical media still. You think Netflix is going to keep that going when they buy it? You want physical media, you'll have to go through companies, small companies and or companies overseas that will be putting all that stuff out. Warner Brothers still does it though. And I think Paramount would like to tap into that. You know, as a comic book fan and a fan of DC stuff, I will say this. If Paramount gets Warner Brothers, I look forward to seeing the triumphant return of the Star Trek IP to DC Comics. Then I look forward to all kinds of cool crossovers between Star Trek and the DC comic universe. But even more important than that, it's just the possibilities of what would be available and owning all of that. You know, I mean, you're talking Star Trek, Mad Max, the DC IP, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. It's just massive amounts of IP. Great stuff. And wow, you know. Oh, Read by Nature, Picard versus Booster Gold.
Okay, is this a who would win or what? I mean, it's an interesting concept. I'm just like,
I got a better one. Darkseid versus Q.
Okay, now this is starting to sound like Gail Simone's ex-person would beat Spider-Man 7 times out of 10.
Ouch. Oh shit!
Have you seen? I don't know if you follow
Oh,
Gail
shit.
Simone, but she
No.
does the okay. Because the current writer on X-Men, she does this thing where she will just put out a random person would beat Spider-Man 7 times out of 10. She's never serious about it. She just drops stuff on threads just to be sarcastic. And God, you see the people going, and it's like fan fights. I'm just like, because she does like Gambit would beat Spider-Man 7 times out of 10, and people going, tell me you don't know anything about comics without saying you know anything about comics. It was like, dude, this is Gail freaking Simone. You're being trolled.
If I were to come up with a way of doing Star Trek and DC Comics characters, it would be Star Trek and the Legion of Superheroes.
Well, isn't Star Trek and X-Men kind of been done as a crossover?
You've had Star Trek crossover with X-Men. They've
Doctor
crossed
Who.
over with Doctor Who. They've crossed over with Planet of the Apes, and they've crossed over with the Green Lantern Corps.
So they're everywhere. Star Trek is just a bunch of literary tramps, aren't they?
Well,
Reed,
and
to address that, she's interested. She has fun trolling fans. I kind of like that about it, because I've seen too many rabid fanboys get really upset over silly things.
Over the destruction of the X-Men? Yeah, I am one.
But
yeah, I at least want to say this about the whole Star Trek thing.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that we've named, with the exception of the Star Trek and X-Men, has been with one version of Star Trek. And that's Captain Kirk and his crew.
Is it only been with Kirk and his crew? With the
Captain
X-Men?
Kirk and his crew. Now, the X-Men is the next generation.
Right.
It's the next generation and the X-Men. That's the difference. And I think that says it all right there. There is a deep and abiding appreciation and love for Captain Kirk, Mr. Spock, Dr. McCoy, and the rest of the crew. That isn't anything against any of the other crews and shows, but there you go. When it comes to crossing over and getting creative, you go with something that deep down that you really do enjoy. And there is a much deeper love of those characters creatively. Again, that's nothing against the Next Generation crew at all. I think Captain Picard and the rest of the crew is just amazing. They're great characters. But I mean, if someone were to give me the opportunity to cross over one from the other, it's always Captain Kirk and his crew. Always. Hands down. I don't even have to think about it. When they did Planet of the Apes, it's Captain Kirk and his crew. When they did the Green Lantern Corps, it's Captain Kirk and his crew.
Mm-hmm.
There's just no two ways about it.
No, dude, I'm so stoked for that movie. Good luck, have fun, don't die.
It's being a fan over these last few years has not been easy for a lot of different stuff. And read by nature, wouldn't it make more sense to have Trek go against the Marvel 2099 universe just to keep it side? Yeah, but that would mean what? Doing a deal with Disney? I mean, Disney's not interested in that. Disney really isn't interested in a lot of stuff. You know, Kevin Feige and Marvel, as I have said about the DC stuff, they really don't dive deep into everything that Marvel actually owns. They have the 5 or 6 characters they're truly interested in, and everyone else is along for the ride. And the reason why the movies and a lot of their projects are starting to become stale is because you don't have anybody working there that actually has a love for these characters. They don't understand who these characters are, and deep down they don't care. And it's the same thing, unfortunately, for Warner Brothers and DC. I mean, you know, I believe that James Gunn is a comic book fan, unlike, say, Kevin Feige. But I also believe that he's only interested in certain characters. If you're going to be running DC studios, DC like that, I think you should have just a desire to see how much of that IP you can actually get away with using. And in my opinion, Warner Brothers has at least always been really good with DC, in so much as that their formula for adapting this stuff was really predicated on whatever the ideas of whatever filmmaker would come along and want to adapt a particular story. Marvel needed help in getting the rest of the world to understand what Marvel characters were. They needed Disney to do that. They needed the money that Disney had, the reach that Disney had to be able to move forward with a lot of that stuff. And they made a lot of money doing it. But they've hit a wall because all of those years that Warner Brothers had over Marvel in developing great characters, great stories, nominations for all kinds of awards, and the ultimate in multiple Academy Award wins, especially for acting, which again, I will happily point out that Marvel is yet to achieve. They got all the money, they just never have gotten the big awards. Sorry, it's not happened. And as of right now, I don't even see that happening in the near future, unless the Doomsday movie is just going to have such a bringing down the house, emotional moments brought on by all these incredible performances that they just, you know, Doomsday ends up getting nominated for multiple Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress nominations and wins. That's the only way I can see that happening. Meanwhile, Warner Brothers and DC sit there polishing all the awards they got for acting. Just saying. But there's a lot that both Marvel and DC own. There are a lot of characters. And you don't necessarily have to have everything tied into one single universe to really take advantage of a lot of that. Case in point, Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle could have been an excellent movie if you weren't trying to think about doing other movies. Because then what you would have done is you would have had a film that would have focused on the Blue Beetle character, Ted Kord, interacting and having to teach Jaime Reyes. Rather than just trying, we're just going to do a Jaime Reyes movie. It's like, well, who is Jaime Reyes? Because there's more people that know who Ted Kord is than Jaime Reyes. You know, there's a lot of really cool characters. In fact, I've said it before and I'll say it again. You could right now start production on a DC related film that I think a lot of people would be really excited to see what came of it. Where you combine the cast of Red with the losers. Just saying. Both of those are DC Comics properties. Both of those have been turned into movies. In fact, that's what, total 3 films? 2 Red films and 1 Losers film. You put together, you look at the cast for both of those films, and you tell me that you wouldn't be interested in seeing the cast for both of these films together in one movie. I mean, again, it's Helen Mirren, man. Helen Mirren in a movie with Zoe Saldana and Chris Evans. Just those 3 names alone. But then you add in John Malkovich. Who in the Red films is just, he's just good. John Malkovich is just, he's just good. So, yeah. Columbus Short, you put him in there also. Whew, yeah. I'm serious. I've been serious for this for a year. I've been saying this since Gary and I started doing all this stuff together. It'd be great to cross over those 2 particular properties, and they're both Warner Brothers film properties, so you could do it. But I mean, it's all within the same kind of universe. It's all within the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, The Losers is about a bunch of assassins who work for a shadow arm of our government. And, oh, wait a minute. Red is about a bunch of government assassins who I think work for the CIA. What's difficult? I mean, I've been waiting for a sequel to The Losers for a while. And I wouldn't mind seeing a Red 3. The only reason why we haven't gotten it is because, you know, Bruce Willis has been sick. But now, hey, guess what? You don't need Bruce Willis's character. You just cross over both sets of characters and you're set. Look at that cast. I think they'd have a good time together.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Oh no, I am not familiar with the cast or any of that, so I'm sitting here going, my nerd is in danger of being.
Oh, well, but you've got a computer in front of you, right? Just Google the cast of each of those films. I mean, what? Okay, here, The Losers. Okay.
So Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Idris Elba, Zoe Saldana. Yeah, you left Idris Elba out of that one, I think.
Well, you've not seen the movie, so I'm not going to spoil anything. But Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Chris Evans, and Zoe Saldana, Columbus Short. Given the way how that ends, those characters you cross over with the characters from Red, you've got a movie. You've got a movie.
Yeah, because now Red 3, damn, I would love to see that. I would love to see that made.
I mean, the first Red was really good, and Red
Mhm.
2 was a lot of fun. But Mary Louise Parker, Helen Mirren, John Malkovich. There you
Mhm.
go, kids. It writes itself. If you bring in the character that Brian Cox plays, Ivan, oh man, even better. It's a quirky, unusual world of assassins. It's a comic book kind of version of the world of John Wick, but not as serious.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's exactly. You combine both of those together, and that's what you get.
Gambit, the live action reboot of Street Fighter.
Ah,
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that trailer, and I have to say, I'm beyond curious. In fact, I'm close to saying that I'll just buy a ticket to it.
good for you.
I just going, the last one was only marginally saved by Raul Julia. It does not have a high bar to. It does not have a high bar to clear. Man,
No. I will be skipping that one. Thank you very much.
when even Raul Julia can't save a save a movie.
That's true, but something tells me that something tells me that this is going to be a slightly different movie.
Right.
So now, notice when I say that, people's like, "Oh, you don't know." Keith." I didn't say the movie's going to be good. I'm just saying it'll be slightly different.
Right.
That's
God,
all I'm
I
looking
don't know
for.
if
Is
you
just
guys
different.
can. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear the rain coming down here, but dang.
Wow.
Uh,
Again, I have just never heard an argument to not make that, to combine the cast of Red 2 with the cast of The Losers.
right.
Because it just basically writes itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, read by nature. Gambit, both of you guys can see what I'm saying. Can you see it? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So if they announce that, I've already bought a ticket. If Warner Brothers were to announce they were doing that, I've already bought a ticket. Now, if Netflix were to announce they were doing it, I'd be suspicious.
Why? Cowboy Bebop was awesome. My God, that show. They should be
yeah.
prohibited.
One Piece was amazing, but it took the fact that Cowboy Bebop had to basically self-destruct in order for them to get it right, and it shouldn't be like that. It should definitely not be like that, because you don't need to really see something fail like that in order to no. Anyway, yeah, it would just Yeah, I don't think you need to go that far in order to get that
Yeah.
going the right way. But look, to get back to what I was saying before, I think that ultimately, I think Paramount would be the perfect place for Warner Brothers to wind up at. That's just how I feel about it. Again, I'm not saying Paramount is perfect,
Yeah, but given the
but
options is what you're saying.
yeah, given the options, I would trust Paramount and their creative people right now more than I would trust Netflix, because Netflix would just Netflix. I feel deep down that they would just find new ways of ruining all of it. So
Yeah, I don't know. Mm. I mean, yeah, I understand the the main drive of any business is to make money. I understand that. But dude, you cannot get into entertainment business without caring about entertainment.
Well,
mhm.
you can. That's the thing.
Yeah, but it's self-destructive. It's like what
Well,
I
yeah,
mean.
no. I mean, when you look at the mentality behind most CEOs, it's to make money, not to specifically conform to whatever it is the industry does. That's why,
Yeah,
you know.
but here's the thing, Ben. If you want to make money, or in order to make money, somebody has to buy your product.
Yeah,
Not really. That's the problem with the stock market. They're not looking to make money by selling products. They're looking to make money by driving stock prices.
Yeah, but what drive a stock price?
Oh, there's a lot to that. I mean,
Confidence. It's confidence.
confidence, but what drives confidence is not necessarily product. It's, oh, we're cutting money here. Oh, we have a great
Yeah,
plan.
and we have our income reduced steadily.
Mhm.
That
You know what?
that is not the way. That is not a way to drive confidence. All the contrary.
Right?
You
It
should.
isn't. It's a lot of that is counterintuitive. The problem becomes, I mean, it's why there's only like Barnes and Noble and a few other major book chains, and independent bookstores had a resurgence because making just I mean having worked for a company that was sold 3 times based on you know on yeah, it's yeah, Hollywood needs to get out of the stock market is what they need to do.
yeah, you got that right.
Hollywood needs to stop being driven by
No, no.
stock prices.
Oh, being
Um,
driven by, okay, you don't need to leave the market. You just need to make good
no.
product
Well,
to
that's the thing,
position
though.
to position yourself better in the market.
You can make all the good films in the world, and make a ton of money. Uh,
I didn't say good. I said
yeah,
something that sells.
right.
Nobody, the product is not being sold. Nobody's going to the movies.
Well, no, that's the thing. Is just you can make a lot of good movies that sell and make a lot of money and still tank on the stock market, and your shareholders are going to get pissed because you're not answering to people who know the movie industry. You're answering to people who watch the stock market and are looking at margin calls and other things other than the quality of your product.
Well, that's been the curse for the last 10 years, really.
But
as
confidence,
the tech bros have taken over the entertainment industry, and it is not an industry that's built on film knowledge and film professionalism. It's built on trying to get as much money out of everything. And so you have people that aren't film people that are using Hollywood as sort of like as something to help it's something to which they can funnel some money, but at the same time it's more or less like they're happy to have it, but they don't know what to truly do with it. They're not trained to really use Hollywood in a way much like it was 30 years ago, 40 years ago, really. Back then, the corporate stuff was kind of balanced out with everything else.
Yeah.
And there was more of a balance to everything. You still had people that knew what they were doing, but they were looking at the bottom line. They were trying to figure out a way of making it all work. You can't just create. You need to find a way of making sure that whatever you invest in, you got some money out of some way. And thus the whole secondary market, VHS, eventually DVD, Blu-rays, all that stuff, made it possible to be able to bring in money so that no project would truly ever lose a lot unless that project were truly just bad. And if there's something were that bad, the person who was directly responsible for it pretty much lost their career, their ability to be able to do anything else. There was a self-correcting way of doing things. Everything was all-encompassing, and it made sense. Now a lot of the guardrails are gone, and a lot of the people who knew what they were doing were have either retired, died, or been pushed out by a whole new group of people who don't know what the blank they're doing. They have no idea of how things work. All they know is many of them got out of college and they just wanted to work in the business, and they felt that they deserved a lot of money and to work with some of the biggest IPs and names out there. And when things didn't go the way that they thought that they should go, made the biggest mistake and decided to blame the audience who couldn't see their genius.
Yeah.
That's what you're dealing with now.
You have, and you have people like Uwe Boll who just can't.
Well, no, I will make fun of Uwe Boll, but let me tell you something. Uwe Boll has a lot more talent in him than a majority of the people who seem to be running things right now.
Amen.
I would trust Uwe Boll if Netflix were to hire him to do something, more so than I would trust a majority of the middle management people working at Netflix, because you cannot be that consistently bad. You just can't be and not know something. And the thing is, there's a difference between what Uwe Boll and his inability to be able to reach a certain point versus Netflix, because Netflix has got all the money. Look at how much they're talking about spending to buy Warner Brothers. They've got money, and they still can't hardly do anything right. And there was a time when Netflix just seemed like, they just needed a chance. They needed an opportunity. They have grown so much beyond that. They are a much different company than they were even when Gary and I started all of this. You know, back then, that was back when it made the news that Netflix was borrowing money, billions. Okay, this is back when they borrowed $1 billion, and Gary and I thought, well, you know, they still got to pay all that back. And then the following year, they borrowed $2 billion. And then they ended up borrowing like $4 billion. And I'm like, whoa, you can't be borrowing all this money and not pay it back. Well, but it hasn't helped them. It really hasn't helped them. If you look at the quality, as I said earlier, look at the quality of all of their projects that were made specifically for Netflix versus the quality of the films that they just brought in from different sources, different studios. That it's not even close. And as I've been saying since all of this got announced, once Netflix officially acquires Warner Brothers, how is any of that going to change? Is it magically just going to make their ability to be able to create the stuff that's exclusive? Is that magically just going to become better now? It's not. It's not at all. In fact, it's going to do the exact opposite. It's the whole thing like with Alex Kurtzman, which is if there is no way to punish someone for not being as good as they should have been based on you hiring them, their potential, the amount of money, and all of the talent involved. If there's no way to truly be punished for doing something wrong, then there's really no incentive to be good at all. You can just continue to mass produce slop. And there is no incentive for Netflix to use any of the IP that they would be getting from Warner Brothers to be good at all. They would use the Disney playbook of just finding different ways of blaming fans. Oh, you didn't watch this movie we just did? Well, that's on you. We just spent X amount of dollars on this feature. That automatically makes it one of the greatest films ever. Oh, you didn't watch it? Well, that's a you thing. You're not culturally adept. You're not smart enough to get what our genius is.
Yeah, and that is something that I constantly have seen bad writers do.
Well, bad writers are all you got left. You push out all of your really talented people. The whole Writers Guild strike pretty much left us with a majority of bad writers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unfortunate because everything is suffering because of that. You know, the only thing that is a positive in any of this is the fact that the few really, really good writers that are actually out there haven't completely given up yet. There is still hope for the entire entertainment industry to turn this ship around. Because the way things are going, look, there is just no room for someone's BS and activism on top of it. It should just be about the idea. It should be about the quality of the story. Instead, you've got a lot of people walking around acting all entitled. thinking that just because they scored a deal on something, that particular deal then means that not only do they deserve it, but your inability to figure out how much of a genius they are is more of a you problem, and you're the problem with everything because you don't recognize and give me my propers when it comes to me making what I'm about to make for you to elevate this art form. And you don't want to recognize my genius.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that has been plaguing Star Trek under Kurtzman, that has been plaguing Lucasfilm since they joined Disney, that has been plaguing almost all of, including a good portion of what Marvel has been about post Endgame. And it sucks. It's bumming people out. It's driving people away. And I do mean away, because it's not like Netflix is doing anything to help anything. So, wow, here I am on top of this soapbox, and I feel so alone. Let me get down off this thing. And it's just, I don't like getting like that. But I also, and I hate the fact that I've been forced into that, because I just want to enjoy stuff. I really do. I really, really do. I believe that everybody has the capability to do well. And there are certain projects that really are perfect projects for if you have the right people working on them. Like, for instance, a majority of the people that worked in Kurtzman Trek. I think a lot of those people, especially a lot of the writers of Strange New Worlds, would be better off working on the new Buffy series. I'm not saying that to be funny. I actually mean that. I think a lot of these people would benefit from working on that show, because that's what you really want to do. That's what you've shown over and over again. You do not have what it takes to do this, but you show that your capabilities and your mind and your heart are really over there. Well, go there then. Go to that. Do that. Stop killing the buzz. Stop making everything hard for the rest of us that want to enjoy what we want to enjoy. Yeah, this soapbox thing. Anyway, it's just, I don't know. It's unfortunate. And there are way too many people involved in the comics industry, as an example, that have just gotten way off track. They spend way too much time whispering behind people's backs or pointing fingers. Hey, here's a little something. Why don't you get off the darn social media and just start giving us better comics? How about that? I'm a fan. I want to see quality back in a lot of what I used to enjoy. And I'm not getting it. And I'm getting sick and tired of just being sick and tired. I'm just to a point where I can easily see myself just walking away from it. And some of the stuff I have walked away from. Okay? I want to make something perfectly clear. I grew up as a fan of all comics. Gold Key, Harvey, all of it. DC, Marvel. Love it all. But I can at least confirm that I've walked away from Marvel Comics. Marvel holds nothing for me. Mainly because the people who they have working in Marvel Comics right now make Uwe Boll look like a genius. Because they really don't know what they're doing. And rather than use the formula that it worked for 40, 50, 60 years, a formula that was put together in order to help writers and artists and everyone else be better at their jobs, and wasn't put in place because someone was trying to keep you down. If you can't follow that, then that means you're not really interested in being really good at your job. You're only interested in just espousing certain viewpoints. And I'm not saying you can't have certain viewpoints. I've got viewpoints. But there's a time and a place for all that stuff. And if you can't make it work, get the blank out and or start your own company. And there's, in my opinion, 95% of the people currently working for Marvel Comics need to be someplace else. They need to be someplace else. They shouldn't be working for Marvel. And I can definitely almost say that about DC also. You just need to be doing something else. You need to be working on your own stuff. You need to actually see how talented you truly are. If you think you are all that, create your own thing and see what the public has to say. Thing is, a lot of them aren't that talented. A lot of them know deep down that they really are not that talented. And they are, almost all of them are leeches who are just leeching on and just slowly killing DC and Marvel through their inability to just be freaking good. Read by nature. It's worse than just incompetence. There's also the crabs in a bucket mentality from some creators. They even hired someone who openly trashed Stan Lee before they hired her. That's what I'm talking about. You don't own this. None of the people currently working for Marvel and DC own any of that. You're just the latest people who have been handed this incredible legacy. You're just a temporary custodian. That's really what all of us are. Your job is to keep this going and to keep it at a certain level so that you can easily hand it off to someone else. And to not do that is the height of not only short-sightedness, but it's really just selfishness. There's way too many selfish people involved in the comic book industry. And there's way too many people who know better, who are spending way too much time on social media talking about non-comic stuff. Who should just be doing their job and helping to weed out all of the people who are not that good. You don't have to fire them, but you need to help them get better. And it's hard to do that when you've got your nose planted so far. Caught myself. See, I was about to go off.
Let's say it is hard to feel an already feel full cup.
I can't. I just. It depresses me with how bad everything has gotten. It really is depressing. The comic book industry 30 years ago was in a decent place, really decent place. And it's now almost completely ruined by people who think that they deserve your loyalty without really doing anything to earn it. And there's no reason for me to give money over to people who really don't want to earn it in terms of just comic books, but also in terms of what I watch on whether it's broadcast TV, cable, streaming, or even at the movie theater. It's just there's way too many people currently in the business that are just so all about themselves, and they're just up their own backsides. And my thing is, I don't need you polluting and bringing everybody else down. If you can't look at something that has existed before you and understand that you are just a temporary custodian, that you're not meant to be seeing yourself as better than even the people that created that thing, you need to just go the blank away.
Yeah, that's too much ego in your writing. I mean,
that's really what Kurtzman is. It's ego. That's really what Kathleen Kennedy has been. It's ego. You know, it is easy to get to what they claim that they want to if they really wanted to achieve that, but they're not. It's ego more than anything else. It's ego.
Yeah.
And I know it's shocking for some to hear me, and I'm going to continue to say it. I believe Anthony Mackie has been completely and utterly disrespected by Marvel and the MCU.
I think you're not the only one.
They have managed to convince him that the character he was playing was not a good character. And that the only way that he will achieve anything is if they destroy another character to move his character up. Sam Wilson's a fantastic character. I grew up reading Falcon. Falcon's an incredible character, but not the way that the MCU does it. No. It's not a good character. In order to be a good character, you got to become Captain America. That's not the point of the character at all. It's not the point of Sam Wilson at all. You did a very bad job with the character. And now you've left yourself, the only out is to think that he's got to become Captain America in order for the character to be good. And to throw your own words back at you, to quote the character of pretty much the best MCU character ever, is if you think you need that suit in order to achieve everything,
you don't deserve it.
Yeah, you don't deserve it. Sam Wilson is the Falcon for a reason. And it's not because he's black. It's not because it's not a good job. If that's the way you think, you don't deserve to be working on the character and with the character, because you have no respect for the character. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The animated version, Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, treats the character of Sam Wilson with way more respect and intelligence in that animated series than anything they've ever done with the character in live action. Short of his appearance in The Winter Soldier. Which, again, that's still the best version of Sam. And if they were looking at trying to keep that level going, if they had actually been interested in the character, there would have been no need to have him be Captain America. It would have just been Falcon kicking butt and taking names.
Guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know.
I need to be going.
Yeah, we've gone way past over the time because I can't shut up.
Only 24 minutes. It's not way past. It's slightly past.
Well, look. First of all, let me just say this. I want to I want to thank Gambit the First, Andy Morrow, James Caserta, Nothing Witty, 7775, Blacka 25, Read by Nature, and Shinatsky. I want to thank everyone out there, and I especially want to thank both Ben and Martin, who have indulged me and my ego long enough today. I'm serious. I said it before the show. I'm trying to do this better, and I've failed today. Because I really don't want to be like that. I do want to try to be a little more positive. It's just that I see nothing but darkness from some of these people. That's all they got.
It is hard to stay positive in the face of a lot of what we're seeing out there. I get that.
Well,
It's hard to
spin.
I
do appreciate
it's hard to it's hard to stay overwhelmingly positive based on a lot of what we're seeing, you know.
I know. And it's just growing up as a fan.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of what the MCU had accomplished was just so cool, but it's hard to keep that going.
Yeah.
Well, listen, everybody, next week I'm going to try to be better. But until then, on behalf of Ben and Martin and everyone here at the Pop Culture Minefield Network, just be sure to check us out. Check out any one of the numerous shows and programs that we put out on YouTube for as long as YouTube allows us to do it. And remember, you know, in the end, just remember your fandom, remember your love of it, and most of all, just look out and remember to be there for each other. Have a good day and see you next week.
See you,
y'all.
everybody.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
Matt Damon.